What up? What up? What up? What's going on, Middle Thoughts family? As always, your starting host, also the main sound engineer of the show. It is myself, Cheat Code. Today, we're actually going to do a little spin-off on today's category on the sports. I have a little bit of entertainment on the football side. I like to call this segment the start, the bench, and the cut edition. Now, today, I'm definitely not doing this by myself. I definitely have special guests in my eyes. We got Coach Estrada today. And then also in a little bit, we're going to have that man to see pull up and tap in with us. But with that being said, like I said, we're going to jump into this start, bench, and cut. With that being said, Coach Estrada, round one, we've got the quarterback edition. Once again, simple rules. I'm going to give you a list of 3 names. Okay? You're going to tell me out of that 3 who you're going to start, who you're going to bench, and who you're going to cut. Here we go. Round 1, quarterback edition. We got Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Brett Favre. Who are you starting? Who are you benching? And who are you cutting?
All right, let's start that over. Let's hold on, Brio. Open the door. Go ahead.
All right, we're going to start off with the start, bench, and cut edition. The quarterbacks. Here we go. Round 1. We've got Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Brett Favre. Who are you starting? Who are you benching? And who are you cutting?
Probably going to cut Drew Brees. Probably start Phillip Rivers, and I'm going to bench Brett Favre. All right, so this is kind of how I'm looking at it. Brett Favre's a gunslinger. Always has been. That was what he did with his career. I think that it's still a little bit rough, though, when I'm looking at how I want my quarterback situation to be, to where he's gunslinging, he's all or nothing. So it's either he's throwing touchdown passes or he's throwing interception, which also means that the ball has to be in his hand a bunch of times. And he appears to me throughout his career to be one of those quarterbacks that always wants to handle the ball himself. So me personally, I want to go with a Phillip Rivers, someone who played with LaDainian Tomlinson, someone who was drafted in the same class as Eli Manning, someone who was supposed to go to the Giants, but because Eli Manning was drafted by the Chargers, didn't want to go. And then there ended up being that switch, which me personally, if I'm actually thinking about it, I think if Phillip Rivers is in the same place as Eli Manning, I think he also has 2 Super Bowl wins, maybe more. But I think Phillip Rivers has always been a great quarterback. I just think that the situations he's been in just didn't give him the opportunity to win the Super Bowl. It's kind of like a Dan Marino.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Well said. I am not mad at that. All right. Followed up. Round 2. We've got up on the board. We've got Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick, Russell Wilson. Who are you starting? Who are you benching? And who are you cutting on round 2?
I'm cutting McNabb. McNabb is kind of the precursor to the quarterbacks that you kind of mentioned. So I'm going to end up getting some more Paulo version. So I'm thinking that in this situation that I'm also going to have the prime version of each one of these athletes. So if that's the case, I'm starting Mike Vick. Straight up, Mike Vick was unstoppable at one point in time. Granted, he still needed to have a better throwing arm or something, but it didn't matter. He is what Lamar Jackson has been striving after. That is what it is. So that man can throw the ball, he can run. He was incredible. Right after that, I'm gonna put Russell Wilson on the bench. The only reason why that Russell Wilson on the bench, granted, I like his deep ball better. I like his throwing a little bit better, but just Michael Vick's running ability and stuff, it was so great that it was hard to control. And McNabb was the slowest of all of them.
You make a very good point right there. Speed at a quarterback, that's just an extra player on the field that can sit here and make a play. I ain't mad at that. Definitely not mad. All right. As they like to, I know this is a little bit 2 different sports, but as they like to do, baseball, the third drawn is usually the wild. So we're going to bring it a little bit into football. So now we got round 3, the wild round. Ready? Same thing, quarterback edition. Start, bench, cut. Well, we just got the wild round. Here we go. I might know who you're going to start on this one, but we're going to let you do the talking. Round 3. We have Eli Manning, Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning. Who are you starting? Who are you benching? And who are you cutting? Let us know.
I'm a New York Giants fan, so I'm going to start with that. I'm cutting Eli Manning. I understand what I'm talking about in this situation where it's like, yeah, I know that we have the brother of Peyton Manning here, and then we also have Tom Brady, who Eli Manning has faced head-to-head against in two Super Bowls and was successful both times. But as I say here in front of you, I believe that Peyton Manning is one of the best quarterbacks to ever played a game. I think the way that Peyton Manning was able to orchestrate an offense and make just lone play calls, like I don't believe that Peyton Manning, for a large part of his career, really needed his coaches to call plays. Like I believe that he was able to orchestrate his own offense on his own. Where Tom Brady, I understand he is the king of the mid-range throw. He is. He's also the ultimate teammate. But I don't think it was until he was later in his career that he was able to actually call his own offenses, call his own defenses, and able to make those adjustments. Because if he was that quarterback that we're seeing, I think he would have been able to check some of his protections a little bit different and play those games out a little bit differently than what it did. Because those are low-scoring Super Bowls. Like, granted, I understand like the way my Giants handled the situation, even the way the Eagles handled it. That Eli Manning didn't rely, and either Peyton Manning didn't rely on their kickers and their defenses to win them those Super Bowls and those championships. Like a lot of time, those games came down to their arm and things like that. So for a lot of the granted, Tom Brady does have a lot of game-winning drives, but he a lot of time was tasked with getting the ball within range for a field goal. So that makes him the king of the mid-range, which is great. But I'm going to take Peyton Manning. I think he's an orchestrating my offense a bit better. I think he's a bit better of a leader. And then right after that, I'm going to go Tom Brady. But that's just my own personal preference. A lot of people are going to hear this. They're going to boo me because they're going to go with Tom Brady, which I understand every argument towards Tom Brady. I will not refute any of those. I get why people pick them, but this is just my own personal preference.
I'm not going to lie. For this wild round, you definitely took me for a curve on this one. Because you're a Giants fan, I thought you were going to say Eli because he had successfully beat Tom Brady. That's the ultimate. I thought you were going to take over on that. But you didn't. I'm not going to lie. That was a little curve for me. But we're going to roll in right into the fourth. Round number 4. See what we got here for you. All right. We got Big Ben, James Winston, Andy Dalton. Who are you starting? Who are you benching? Who are you cutting? We need to know.
I'm going to give you something completely biased. I'm cutting Andy Dalton right away.
Ooh.
I'm not a big Andy Dalton guy. I mean, he does get the job done. He's an NFL quarterback, but like, I don't think he actually does do this for a locker room. I'm obviously starting Big Ben to Super Bowl. Like he was a player where I understand he spent a lot of time towards the end of his career pretty hurt, but he also was like a great quarterback. He was taking a lot of hits. Like he wasn't really working with a great offensive line. Like he was making it happen out there. And then I'm a big Jameis Winston guy. Straight up, I love Jameis Winston. I think he's great for the culture. I don't think he's a starter every single week, but I think he's a great backup quarterback. I think he's a great, like, coming off the bench. Like, he's just good for the locker room. Like, he's going to give you everything you need. I don't believe Andy Dalton will give you the same thing that you need. Like, Andy Dalton is better fit for a team that really needs a quarterback. But when I have these at my exposure, yeah, that's how I'm going to play it out.
Little spinoff. I'm not going to lie. With Winston, the one thing I will have to say with him, I know he gets clowned for it, but some of the preps that he be doing and stuff like that are just off camera, whether it's warm-up stuff, like just some of the funny stuff. I'm not going to lie. He's a little bit of a character, not going to lie, but I do agree with you on what you're saying on the role of how he has of a backup, how he does play an importance, because when it does come time to push the shove, he has also been able to show that he can handle that business. But I do agree with you on the backup role with that. There's still some improvement that he needs. That being said, we got round 5. Here we go. Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff. Who are you starting? Who are you benching? Who are you cutting right up off the team starting? What you got for us?
I'm cutting Jared Goff. He's already got on this list, hasn't won a Super Bowl. I mean, I know that that's not everything, but like in this particular conversation, Matt Stafford won a Super Bowl with the team that Jared Goff couldn't. So,
ooh.
And that trade, he got traded to the Rams and then immediately won a Super Bowl. So like that was a team he had a season ago. Like he won Super Bowl, he's gonna get it done. So like automatically Jared Goff gotta go. And I like Jared Goff as quarterback. So Matthew Stafford has to stay.
So that's a must.
That has to stay. Who's the other one that I had with him? Remind me.
We got Aaron Rodgers,
Aaron
Matthew
Rodgers, that's what it
Stafford, and
was.
Goff. Yep.
All right, so I think I'm starting Stafford.
Stafford
I think
over
I'm
Rodgers.
starting Stafford. I'm putting Aaron Rodgers on a bench. I don't know, man. I'm a big Stafford guy. He came out of UGA, which granted, I'm not a UGA guy. Do like SEC football, but Stafford, he's just kind of a baller, bro. He's kind of a gamer. Like he's big team guy, like big team energy. Like he likes to do the thing that is important to get the guys the team win. I think Aaron Rodgers, a lot of time, his play style, it leaves the ball in his hands a bit too much, and I think that Matt Stafford's actually really okay with handing off the ball and like working a bit more of a complex offense. It days where Aaron Rodgers really wants that ball in his hand. Like, so this is my own personal like opinion, but Aaron Rodgers is a guy that like he wants to be the magic man in his own show, which has no issue with that as a quarterback. If you're a strong quarterback, you can be that. But I like having a mixed offense to where I'm throwing to some receivers that can go, some tight ends, and like working with some running backs who can really go. Which not saying that he's not for that, but I don't know. I'm just a big Matt Stafford guy.
Well, be honest with you, I thought you was going to go Rodgers first and then Stafford second. So that's another one you took me for a loop. Let's see what you're doing here. All right. As always, saving the best for last. We've got round number 6 to finish off with this quarterback edition of the Start Bench Cut. Here we go. We've got Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow. Who are you starting? Who are you benching? And who are you telling, get off my team, get off my field, son?
I'm starting Lamar Jackson. That's a no-brainer. It is. Between the 3 quarterbacks, I'm going to cut Jalen Hurts because he's the weakest thrower of all of them. But in not saying that, I think him and Lamar Jackson's throwing ability are about the same. I just think that Lamar Jackson's way faster. So I think they're similar players, just one's significantly faster. So I automatically went him. I love Joe Burrow. I think he's great at throwing. He's probably the best passer between all of them. But I just think that I love the running factor. I love that dynamic quarterback. Like I just love the move. So I think that I would want to start Lamar Jackson to get him going. I feel like Lamar Jackson has an actual wide receiver core with like 2 to 3 actual wide receivers who can go along with a tight end, along with a running back. He's going to do something special. Like I believe that if you were to switch positions with the offense that Joe Burrows have with Lamar Jackson, that Bengals team is one of the most unstoppable teams. Like, could you imagine Lamar Jackson throwing to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not even mentioning some of the other players, just those 2 wide receivers that are just so incredible. So incredible. And I'm not saying Zay Flowers is it, but like, Zay Flowers is the only name that they've really had for some time. And like, he's still young, but like, they just don't have a core of wide receivers. I say a core, which means that there has to be multiple pieces within it. So I just think that their wide receiver core is one of the weaker ones in the NFL. And that's the reason why they struggle so bad.
All right. You might hate me for this one. I know I said that was the final round. Kind of lied. I'm making this one up on the fly, but this is lucky number 7. The bonus round. Okay. So out of all the lists that I gave you, I'm going to pick a random 3. And then out of that 3, we're going to do it like, I guess, the ultimate pick out of the quarterbacks of who you're going to start, who you're going to bench, and who you're going to cut. So let's see. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to go with, kind of made this one a little tough. Okay. Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning, Lamar Jackson.
Starting Lamar, I'm putting Peyton Manning on the bench. I'm kind of Phillip Rivers. I think Lamar Jackson is still going to give me the most athletic opportunity there. I also believe that Peyton Manning being on the sidelines during the Giants Super Bowl runs was a large factor of him helping with the quarterback's team and working with Eli Manning. I think Peyton Manning as a backup quarterback to Lamar Jackson makes him one of the best quarterbacks around, as he'll get the IQ for Peyton. If Lamar Jackson had Peyton's ability to read the field and read a defense and read his offense, that would be the most unstoppable quarterback in the NFL.
Said he's got the 1-2. Ooh, that's deadly. Can you imagine your offense running off of that? All right, guys. Not gonna lie, that's all I have for this segment today in the little sports entertainment of the start, bench, cut. I promise you, there will be more additions out in the near future episodes. But as always, please, first things first, thank you as a special guest for coming on today's show, Mr. Coach Estrada. We loved having you here. Once again, thank you for everything that you do for us. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day for this little entertainment segment. And as always, guys, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And not only that, we'll also have links in the description towards the merch, which you can find that at bonfire.com/shop/alienware. One more time, bonfire.com/shop/alienware. Make sure you get that alien tech. And also take regards into, we've got the Spotify for the Spotifyers, the Apple podcast for the Apple users. Once again, we got the Sam's Club membership. We've also got the Threads page for you threaders. Instagram, if I haven't said that. I'm pretty sure I'm missing 2 other ones. Once again, I'll make sure you guys get all that information in the description. But as always, thank you guys for everything. Love y'all. Peace.